Hello, I'm Jessie Janae and you're watching Unboxing Things, a show where we unbox your favorite brands and we don't talk about their products, even though they're amazing, but we talk about their boxes. Because here at Lieu, we help modern brands with their packaging supply chain. Let's see what is in my mailbox today. Oh, it's a big one. All right, oh, my mailbox is, okay, all right. Oh, wow, okay, we have Daily Harvest. Daily Harvest, if you're not familiar, is changing the food game by shipping you frozen cups of delicious fresh foods, smoothies you can blend, soups and other things that you can warm up. And the best part is that you don't have to worry so much about them going bad because they come to you frozen and you pop them right into your freezer. Without further ado, let's see how they do it. Daily Harvest. What can I tell right from looking at the box? Well, you've got a high pop of contrast by the fact that they used white corrugate printed with black printing. Other things obvious, it's kind of neat here that the shipping label actually blends into the box itself because the box is white, really kind of creates an environment where the shipping label blends away, which isn't happening on Kraft boxes. Other things, it says this packaging is 100% recyclable. Right here it says, freeze me, I'm perishable. There's exclamation points, it's clearly important, and it is. Because the last thing you want is to let this kind of melt on your doorstep. I'm sure they've included enough insulation to keep it safe for a bit, but you gotta pop this puppy in the freezer as soon as you can. Other things, it says 9-pack box on the bottom. Now this is probably not for my eyes really, it's not for me, but in the distribution center, there's probably different sizes of this box depending on what subscription you do, how many cups you order. And so this is the 9-pack box. There's also the box maker certificate here on the bottom if you'd like a little bit of detail, and I do. Edge Crush Test 40. Also commonly referred to as ECT. That's a test for if you're crushing the edge of a corrugate, how much force, how many pounds of force does it take before it bends and buckles under the pressure? This is a good old 40 pounds. That's a nice strong corrugate to make sure this item arrives to me safely. I love this pattern. I think this is kind of a beautiful pattern. It's really neat that the pattern extends onto all panels of the box. Superfood's Superfast Daily Harvest. This delivers sort of a brand message. Superfoods is clearly the product. That's what I'm about to receive into my body, all the nutrients, feeding my hair and my eyeballs and all that good stuff. Superfast, that's more about the brand promise and how it arrived to me. I click some buttons online and then bam, this is on my doorstep, super fast. Now, I think it's time to go inside. I have my handy dandy blade. What can I tell right away? What can you tell? Well, here's what you've got. You've got some insulation, and when you open it up, ooh, oh, it's like an ice facial. All right, I'm getting some nice cool air. It's a little warm in here, so this is nice, okay? Once I've opened this bag, I have a piece of printed corrugate that says, don't touch. Our smoothies stay this cool thanks to dry ice, use caution, etc., etc. Keep out of reach of children and pets. Ah! Hold on, user error. Back to this. Observation from a packaging geek. This is white Kraft and printed on one side. There's no printing on the inside of this box. Also this, white and Kraft. This printed piece, which actually includes messaging, is most likely cut out and printed at the same time as the box, because it's on the same material. So this is probably very inexpensive and or free, effectively, because it might be taking up negative space of where there would have been wasted material from producing this box in the first place. Makes sense? The more efficient you can be with material and printing things all at once, the more inexpensive and efficient your packaging is as well. Let's put on our thinking caps. Why else would Daily Harvest use a piece of corrugated board as opposed to a piece of paper to tell me this important message? Well, practicality-wise, this doesn't warp or bend nearly as easily as a piece of paper or a piece of cardstock. So when they're putting it into a container with the cups that are frozen, there's likely to be condensation. You know there's temperature changes from warm to cold. This actually stays looking good, and I can just pick it right up and read it. Now, a piece of paper might not fare as well. I'm going to take my dry ice and set it to the side. It's got warning labels on it as well in red. Keep away from my pets, keep away from my kids, etc. I can just take this bag out of the box. Now, this kind of spacey looking thing is the insulation. This is what keeps the cold inside my package to make sure that when my cups arrive, they're still frozen. Here's what the cups look like. Now, we had Rachel, the founder of Daily Harvest, on our Well Made podcast, and she gave us some tips about how they thought about this going into this design process. She wanted the ingredients to stand out against the white cup, create a really different visual environment than the visual overload you see in the grocery store of everything being so colored and so high graphic. This is just the ingredients on display. Gives me a little bit of a flavor for exactly what's going on inside this cup. Something else for you viewers at home to recognize. Daily Harvest has gotten clever with the tops of the lids and is telling me what type of product I'm looking at based on the color. Black is for their classic smoothie line, the line that they got started with, and that's these. And then blue is for some of their savory soups. That's this color. And when they're all sitting in my freezer, I actually have a drawer freezer. I know, I'm fancy. And when I look down in my drawer freezer, I can tell exactly what I'm looking at and choose accordingly. I'd like to talk about the installation for a minute. You've got this reflective material on the outside, and you've got this thin other plastic material on the inside here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a cut so we can see what is actually keeping everything cold. Because it's neither of these layers of plastic specifically, but it's actually this recycled fiber material. Now this is actually really cool looking. I wish there was like a fashion application. I don't know, maybe you, creative viewer, can figure this out. But it's like a recycled material that has a lot of denim and other fibers going on. There's kind of rescued from the textile industry most of the time. And this is a great reuse of this material. Also, this can be recycled as well and kind of used in creative ways. So with every shipment you receive from Daily Harvest, you're actually getting this kind of badass, kind of cool denim recycled thing. All right, it's time to roll in the recap. So Daily Harvest packaging, it's really neat for a lot of reasons, but I'm gonna highlight a few of them for you. First up, it's frozen. Now this might seem obvious, and I don't mean the packaging is frozen, but the product is actually frozen. It doesn't need to just arrive to you cold, it has to arrive frozen. That means that there's a lot of actually engineering and thought that needs to get put into the package to make sure that that's the case. Second, it's functional. There's only as much material as needs to be in this package to achieve that core purpose of your product arriving to you frozen, on time, and in good condition. And then third, it's black and white. Now this also might seem obvious, but I just love how effectively they're using the white corrugate with black printing. The interior piece is also black and white. The only color that you see in all of this packaging is actually the graphics of the food itself, the thing that you're actually going to consume, the product, which really pops. This has been Daily Harvest Unboxed.